a 1v1 with these players in a long time. I mean, and I'm talking about even the individual players. I can't tell you the last time I've been able to cast Bact. Bact is here in the red. And I can't tell you the last time that I've been able to cast Tim. Tim has been playing a lot on DE. I'm pretty sure I said DE, chat. I'm pretty sure I said DE and you guys just heard HD. But anyways, yeah, it's not HD. HD, F's in the chat. It's gone. Well, it's not gone. It's still there, but you know, I have no reason to really use that nowadays. Bact has chosen Aztecs for Cenotes, and Tim has chosen Bulgarians. A lot of players are picking Bulgarians. Bulgarians get that free man-at-arm upgrade. Bulgarians... or actually, it's not just man-at-arm, I should clarify. The militia line upgrades are free. Their town centers are cheaper. They can build Kreposts, which are mini castles. Their their blacksmiths also work faster. And it's just interesting to me how everyone seems to choose Bulgarians for this map. I mean, Aztecs is still a strong pick. Even a civ like Japanese could be really good. I don't know what it is. For me, I pick Bulgarians on this map as well, but it's only because other people tend to pick it. So I'm like, oh, it must be good. And we'll see what Tim decides to do. I imagine that Bact might try and lame with his eagle and steal some resources from Tim. And Bact is very close to the TC, and he's running all around now, so there's 2 pigs over here. I think you could double boar steal in Age of Empires 2 DE, because it only takes 1 hit on the boar. Oh, please try it, Bact. Oh, no. Okay, he sees that pig. Oh, no, he might not have noticed that, actually. Man. Well, anyways. I guess that's very good for Tim, right? Because there's not much you can do with a Dark Age Scout against a Dark Age Eagle. The Eagle has extra attack and extra HP. One of the things that makes Aztecs very, very strong. Or any Meso civilization. I would expect man-at-arms into archers for Bact, and Tim, maybe man-at-arms towers. Bulgarians, they don't have the best archers. I'll show you this again. They do not get crossbowmen, so it's a good reason to, instead of making a transition into archers afterwards, you could go maybe for a mix of archers and skirms and go elite skirm, but you might see a whole lot more in the way of man-at-arms. So, this could very well go to YouTube. I never know, of course, if the game's going to be good enough for YouTube, but I'm just excited to be casting some high-level play in 1v1s. There was a period of a week, basically, where I couldn't even spectate games, which is really sad. Is Tim going to lame this villager? I think he wants to lame. Has not been the most successful lame, I have to say. Old Timmy Boy is probably not going to get the successful lame. Well played, Bact. So no laming for either of them. I don't think we'll see any Vil losses in Dark Age for them, and I don't think they will lose out on any of their boars. The deer are out here, which can be a bit awkward for Tim. Man, if Dave was here, he would be fanboying over Tim. Where is Dave, man? Maybe Dave will stop by to co-cast the best of 7 between Hera and Doubt, which is starting in less than an hour. Stash 96, we'll figure it out. I spoke to the players. About it. Well, I spoke to Hera about it. So I think we'll be able to organize it for the show match. We're kind of making do with what we can right now. I think for queuing up, like if you're a pro player and you just want to queue up for 1v1s and that's all you do, it's quite nice right now. Obviously, there's a lot of other feature additions which could really help everyone, but for spectating, we'll figure it out. Yeah, so Cenotes is basically as close as you're going to get to Arabia in the map pool, but there are small ponds for those that maybe wanted to know the difference. But the ponds don't normally matter all that much. I feel like you could maybe justify docking this if it had 2 more shorefish. Oh no, there's 3. I mean, maybe. But I think it's much better to go for the forage bush for now and then maybe dock later on. If you're Malay or something, you could go fish traps back there. But there's never a guarantee for that. Like, Bact doesn't have near as many ponds to work with. Okay, both players are on the way up to the next stage. Bact is about to place his barracks. He's placed it there. And he's already walled in front. And there's the barracks for Tim. Is Tim on gold? Tim is not mining gold right now. This is interesting. So, okay, he's not mining gold, but he collected 10 gold from this gold pile here, which took his total to 60. Now we can make 3 militia, and they will become man-at-arms for free. But he's not gone to gold, which means he won't be planning on making more. He really wants to get into Bact space. Both of these players, funny enough, are really known for their walling. And Bact is trying to do so here. And yeah, he's fine. I don't see that villager dying. The walls are up here. Actually, it's still open on this side, but the militia are pretty far away. Is Bact not even making man-at-arms? No, he's gone to gold. But with 3 on gold, he might just start off with archers. Interesting. And normally you see the Aztec player try and make use of that gold. Okay, Bact realizes the potential. He knows that if this scout is around, he could pick off a villager and then the man-at-arms could come in. Man-at-arms just decide to attack the palisade wall, which I think is probably the best move for Tim now because he's not getting in. Bact already fully walled. Yeah, we do have a score commands now. I don't want to discourage people from like communicating and like actually talking to people when people ask questions. But a lot of people have been asking about the score on the bottom right. And the score on the bottom right does not work. So, well, that's not exactly true. It works, but then I can't see this overlay. So, prefer to see the overlay and the production, what players are getting. It's really important for me. Okay, so Bact is starting off with archers. And just archers and walls. Nothing too crazy, nothing too exciting. And then, you know, if you go straight archers, it opens up a possibility where the Bulgarian player could just go into skirmishers and then into elite skirm later on in the game, right? Now, then you have to think about the fact that Aztecs do get access to eagle warriors. So straight skirmisher would be too risky. This might actually turn into long swordsman for the Bulgarian player. A long swordsman elite skirm versus eagle archer. Or eagle skirm or something. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. I like how instantly, once the blacksmith is finished, there's a fire inside. Instant smoke. So, this is actually quite good for Tim, because he's applying so much pressure that Bact has had to build early houses, so he doesn't have wood for farms and stuff, or as much wood for farms. He has one villager almost at all times repairing or building. Whereas at home, he's fine. So, you can still get some use out of units just by forcing idle time. Bact, though, he's been scouting, and he did scout that archery range with his eagle. So he at least knows what's coming. And he is now getting fletching, so I think he'll run in here in a second and try and pick off as many units as possible. If he can kill all of these, if Tim isn't careful, I think it could be a pretty bad situation for Tim once more eagles come out. Oh, wow, this is smart from Bact. Instead of firing from this side of the house, why not run around this way? Tim's not aware of that, guys. And Tim will lose probably all of his men-at-arms. He could lose his scout as well. Yeah, Bact goes for the shore kills, and he picks off the scout. He picks off... That was so smart. Also over here, he's been annoying with that eagle warrior. Or eagle scout, rather. Yeah, I mean, normally I feel like I would think about those types of things or run around first. But wasn't thinking about it at the time. And very nice of Bact to do that. And now Bact is making a few eagles. Tim is only on skirms. Okay, so Tim is towering his gold here. He's building a blacksmith probably for fletching. I don't think Tim can comfortably move out. Pretty bad map generation for him, by the way, because of that main gold. T90, can you talk about the difference between Cenotes and Arabia? Varian, no offense, but because you troll me so frequently, I'm not sure if you're being serious or if you're I'm not sure if you're being serious. So, if you're being serious, yes, I will, but I did just explain that a few minutes ago. Okay, so it's not a troll question, sure. So, there's honestly not a big difference. There's not a lot of big differences. I I would say that, at least with the current versions of the maps that you're playing with DE, that Cenotes has less hills. So you'll notice the elevation isn't as high. The other thing is that it's quite open, like Arabia. And I would say, so less hills overall, and then you have some small ponds. That's pretty much it. Not many huge differences. Like, Cenotes compared to any other version of Arabia that's not DE2 Arabia, very, very close to Arabia. It's almost like the HPC Arabia, if you've ever played it, with these ponds. Pond should never be on Arabia, in my opinion, but... Alright, nice pick off there from Bact. Surprised he didn't try and push this way, but I'm not surprised that Tim is trying to stonewall. Tim is so well known for this. But man, Tim... This is why I was kind of baffled by the Bulgarian choice. What has he done in this game? He attacked walls. He's walled himself. And now he's making skirms which will just get countered by Eagle Archer. And he hasn't clicked up to the next stage yet, either. So, like, Aztecs still have that farming bonus. They still have an insane eco. They still have amazing options. I think Bulgarians are an overrated pick for this. Just everyone seems to be choosing them. Alright, well, Tim has to back up to his tower. Bact realizes this. I guess on the bright side for Tim, he has time to build stone walls on the right, so he could stonewall here and stonewall here. Really secure that main gold. But maybe Elite Skirm Knight is going to be a wiser choice. Tim's actually, he has 4 on stone. He might even see the Kreposts. Kreposts are 350 stone. It's a new unit with the new new building, sorry, with the new civ. You can only create your unique unit out of it. T90 hates showers. That's why he dislikes water maps. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I don't hate showers. Bourbon Proof, thank you for 17 months, by the way, man. It was right after I finished the intro to the stream. Thanks, man. Also, hello and signed toast. I almost said hello to a guy named Liquid Anus. Glad I didn't do that. Yuga, hello, welcome. He was here all day yesterday. Great to have you back. Andrew, thanks for the Prime sub, man. I know someone who needs a shower in the chat. Wow, so Tim wants to go... Crap, what are these things even called again? The Konniks? There's so many unique units that start with K now. There's like the Kipjack, the Konnik. I think it's a Konnik. And Konnik is not a unique unit I have seen in competitive play yet. Now, I'm not convinced with them in Castle Age. At least based on like what I know about the unit. Still feel like playing the Aztec meta of 1 range, 2 barracks, monastery, and a boom is still very strong, but... You know, Tim has been able to keep his skirms alive and wall that right-hand side. And he could build a Krepost. At the very least, Tim is going to be alive. I don't know if he'll be ahead, but he's going to be... Oh, I thought there was a hole there.
Loving definitive edition, but I wish it would stop crashing. Thanks for the great content.
He's going to be alive because he can place this thing. If he placed the castle instead, I'm going to be tilted. Alright, so... Well, you know what? How quickly is he going to build this thing? It's 2600 HP, so it'll go up faster than castle. Tim is just going to try and be annoying with his army here.
Good morning,
yeah, okay, you know, place a stable there.
Just, any chance you will do community game
just to block it off, I guess. He's throwing his skirms away. Tell me there's not a 1-tile gap there. There's not, and now the Krepost is up, and the Konniks are on the way now. Konnik is a mounted unique unit. You can kind of compare it to a knight. Only the rider dismounts and fights after the mounted unit dies. That makes sense. Bulgarian TCs cost 50% less stone. So TC, and Tim still has tons of stone in the bank. Current Vil count is 50 for Bact, 44 for Tim. How are these Konniks going to fare? I feel like monks... Like, a few monks would be really wise from Bact, and he's already thinking ahead about this. Right? You just convert those things. Make sure you convert them before the rider falls off. So here they are, in all their glory. Aztecs are such a dominant civ, and Bact, man, Bact with Aztecs is just a different animal. He loves his Meso civ. And I think Bact has played this really smart. Really smart, really clean. It's almost near perfect from him. Near perfect from what you would want to expect from Aztecs. Even opening up his walls here and just re-walling to protect the gold. And throughout this time, I think Bact is going to snag the relics. Aztecs get 33% more gold per relic. I like it. He also didn't overinvest into upgrades on eagles and crossbows. It's like he expected it once he saw the stone walls. He doesn't have +2 on it. He doesn't have +2 attack or +2 armor or anything like that. Saved resources for a boom. T90, I feel like Goth Mirror Civ is the new meta in low level 1v1 on DE, right? Oh, it said going mirror. God, I'm blind. I was like, Goth Mirror? What? Well, I mean, if you don't go for Mirror, and you go random Civ, you could get a Civ that's not Aztecs or Cumans or, you know, one of the really strong ones. So, yeah, I mean, if you want it to be fair, and you don't want to pick a Civ, then, yeah, I think going Mirror is probably the way to go. Is there a hole there? There was a... Oh, what the... Are you kidding me? That looked like a tree. I hate that, man. That looks like a tree, but it is not a tree. This is a tree. That is just some shrubbery. And these Konniks are doing absolute work. Now, Bact was able to convert one. And he... Well, he needs to bring some monks back, right? Does Tim decide to run in? Or does Tim decide to leave? Bact is on the way back with his holy men and his crossbows, and Tim is over here now! These Konniks are doing tons of damage! Look at the amount of villagers that have gone down. This all stemmed from one hole. It's all falling apart for Bact. Man, these Konniks are doing work. Look at them with their maces. And then, if you snipe one with the TC, the trouble's not over because the guy gets up. And he's here to help with the raid. 68 villagers for Tim. Tim is winning this game now, economically anyways. Holy cow, that just came out of nowhere. Meanwhile, Konniks are engaging on the front. Oh, Tim wanted to build another cheap castle or treat Kreposts there. But Bact kept some army there, so he denies that. It's a doubt Krepost. And you know what? Bact was able to convert 4 of them. Actually, this is interesting. So he has 4 of them with a dismounted Konnik here. So 5? 4.5? I'm not sure. Not sure. I don't think he converted the one. I think the one rider died.
But it'll tell you something that is not. These streams have helped me grow as a player. I still suck, but it doesn't stop me from having fun. Thank you, T90.
Okay, so the thing is, with Aztec farming, and the fact that Bact had, even before he lost villagers, he had a lot of villagers on the right resources and the right eco setup. I think that Bact will be well ahead of Tim. So, with that in mind, Tim has got to pressure big time. He's making the Maganel, he's making more Konniks. And yeah, Bact is soon going to hook up to the Imperial Age. Also, Bact didn't invest into things that cost a lot of food. Unlike Tim. Tim had to make the Konniks, which is basically the cost of a knight. And also the upgrades on that, which is a lot of food and gold. Okay, so I didn't catch if Tim deleted there. But I don't think Tim can engage versus this many monks. Alright, well, Bact probably realized he needed a bit of time. So what he ended up doing there was engaging with his converted Konniks up against the Maganel. I like it because Maganel could hurt him right now. I imagine we'll see a lot more monks for Bact, but maybe ranged units now? Maybe Arbalest? He's about to snag his 3rd relic. It's so typical for Tim to just expand that eco and boom like a madman. 84 villagers for him. 67 for Bact, but you know what? I still think Bact is playing this really good. because he's expecting to need an answer to these Kreposts. And so what he's doing, so castle the hill, what he wants to do is force fights with trebuchets against these things. Tim is trying again. I'm back to plug the gap. I don't think there's any holes here. Oh, actually, there is a hole here on the stone. Bact, please pay attention to this. Oh my god. No! Tim is in again! And this is really bad timing for Bact as well. Okay, he needs a wall here. He needs to cut his losses because, like, the last thing Bact wants is to send his whole army back here. He just wants to wall this army out and hold to the front. So, seems like that's going to work. Tim still hasn't clicked up. He's creating so many Konniks. I don't think he can engage underneath the castle. And it's a castle he doesn't... Oh no, he does know is there. Bact has got to stay walled. If he doesn't stay walled, if at any point his military needs to go back to deal with this, could be Tim's opportunity to spam Castle Age Konniks and snipe those trebuchets that are definitely coming from that castle. Tim knows this, right? Tim knows this. Both players will understand their situations, and Bact just wanted to get some gold here. He couldn't comfortably get it. Lost a few vills. And then here Bact is continuing to wall more. Bact is doing the right thing, and Tim is doing the right thing for his situation. But you see this now. The crossbows and eagles are starting to come back, and Tim will just run right in. There's just with so much economy, there's so much potential for holes. And what this will actually do, and wow, Tim dives in here. Oh my goodness, Bact's reaction time, his reaction time there was insane. Look how many conversions he ended up getting. I thought he was going to lose all the monks. But Bact is down to 68 villagers, and it's 102 for Tim. And Tim's production is crazy. He's forced tons of idle time. Bact has his own small army of Konniks now. But now the Treb? No way! No, the dismounted guy! Oh, the dismounted guy! He's such a loser. How did he not kill that? It's 3 HP. He just didn't attack instantly, I guess. See, that would have been the moment right there. All that raiding from Tim was so he could snipe these Trebs and stay alive longer. Sorry, I just called the guy a loser. I'm not sure why I went for loser. 41 military for Bact. These Konniks just keep coming for Tim, and he is 70% of the way to the Imperial Age. Sniping those monks. He has more Konniks here. I think Bact could be in real trouble. Tim is just continuing his creation of Konniks, continuing to repair his Kreposts. Now, this stone is really important for him. He's about to run out of it to repair this. And if he loses this, which he will, then he might not be able to have the stone for more. I wonder if Tim should back up now. I wonder if he should back up and regroup and go for one big engagement after he gets his armor upgrade. And Bact has 65 vills, and it's 106 for Tim, but this is still very winnable, especially with the relics for Bact. I like how many Trebs he made as well. I like how he didn't stop at 2, he went for 4. 4 is a really solid number. What I don't like is that he doesn't have many upgrades on his arbs. And what I don't like is that, you know, he will probably continue to be harassed on the sides. Alright, these are still Castle Age Konniks, guys. Oh, no, plate barding. Plate barding is in. Wow, these are sick! I mean, if you already have the eco lead, the main thing you need to do is just stop that low eco push from Bact, right? So Tim figures, why not engage? Why not take this fight? And he's done well. 4 trebuchets are very expensive. One thing that's in the back of my mind, though, is that the Aztec player does have those relics. And that there's a lot of stone here that Bact can have control of. Bact's monks are getting more conversions. It's an annoying way to have to defend, but you've got to do it. And we have a little housing colony over here for Tim. I think he might go for stables to raid instead of going full Konnik. So Castle Age Konniks, new meta. And wow! Now you go for the free militia upgrade. So throughout every single age, the Bulgarians get their militia line upgrades for free. They do not get champion, but they do get two-handed swordsman. So he's thinking two-handed swordsman with Konniks. It's interesting. I mean, two-handed swordsmen aren't all that special versus the arbalest, but it's just a lot of production from Tim. I think I've been proven wrong a little bit. Bulgarians do seem to be incredibly strong, and against Aztecs, no less. Wow, crazy stuff. Remember, these are not elite Konniks. I just love how Tim has gained so much control. You guys sense that? He gained so much control over the game by using the mobility. And this is the first game I've ever casted with Bact, and we have a pause, boys. That is what Bact is known for. He always pauses and says sec. I don't have a ton of faith in the spectating right now on DE, so hopefully we can continue to watch the rest of this game, but oh my god. There's a clip of him out there. Actually, I think he deleted it because he was embarrassed. But he was streaming, and he was playing a 3v1 versus AI, and he paused and said sec to the AI. I think he deleted it, actually, because he saw how many people were watching it. Alright, so fingers crossed the game continues. I guess we were pretty close to live time then. But 120 vills for Tim. Can I check Tim's Fog of War during the pause? I can't do that. He does not see this relic, which is a bit of a shame. And is it 4 or 3 for Bact? Oh, there's another relic in the north, sorry, which is also something that Tim... Okay, Tim can see that one. Honestly, when playing Aztecs, getting relics for yourself is not the focus. It's just keeping the relics away from the Aztec player. I feel like the gold you get from the relics is nothing compared to what the Aztecs get, so. But what's he have? 1, 2, 3 Kreposts. And he's making two-handed swordsman. He's getting the armor and attack upgrade as well. Interesting. Alright, boys, so I have no way of knowing how long Bact is going to be paused, and again, he is known for this. In fact, do you remember in Hidden Cup 2 how I made those videos, like MBL confirmed, Viper confirmed? Do you remember that? Did I do the Bact one? I forget if we finished that. I think I might have finished that one. Well, anyways, did I finish that one? Is that one out there? You didn't see it? Oh, we're back in the game. Well, anyways, I was making one for him. We didn't have time to finish all of them. And it was just going to be about pausing. And then the funny thing was, in Hidden Cup, the player I thought was Bact said sec in-game. Like, even though we were casting recorded games in the early rounds, he still had the in-game chat. We got to see him say sec. And it was him. So much for Hidden Cup, man. Freaking Fat Dragon was like, you know me? You know me? In all caps. And of course, people knew it was him when he said that. And then Bact paused. Unreal. What rating is Tim on Voobly? Like 2K5. Really, really good. I don't know what he is right now, but he's been in the top 10. Both of these players have been in the top 10 of rating. Think about it this way: Hidden Cup 2 had the top 15 based on rating, enter, and then the 16. No, top 14, and then the last 2 spots was all qualifier. So here, I'll just fix the speed here for a second. And Tim and Bact were in the top 14 at that time. Okay, so Bact sees this gold now. These are not elite Konniks. You would need a castle to research elite Konnik, I think. Actually, I'm not sure about that. I would need that confirmed. Regular Konniks? I mean, not regular. They have full armor and attack, but non-elite Konniks shred these arbalest. That was a crazy cleanup. And Tim's not done raiding either. He's raiding here with a few of them. He's sending in the two-handed swordsman to attack the trebuchet, and he'll get it. 165 population for Tim. It's 120 for Bact. And more raids continue from this hill. crazy play with the Bulgarians from Tim. I thought he was behind in this game. He was behind in this game. Tim, he doesn't have a lot of gold banked up. It's like Bact has resources, he just doesn't know what to make. Or he just can't mass his units. Every time he tries to, Tim shows up and massacres him. Now remember, you cannot create... there's a castle, okay. You cannot create trebuchets from these Kreposts, you can only create the unique unit. So... the only thing I'm not sure on is if you can research elite in a Krepost. I feel like you might be able to. I don't think you should be able to, but... anyways, I'm in awe of the production from Tim right now. He didn't even wait for Trebs to go after this castle. That's how confident he am. Or he is. Did I say he am? I'm pretty sure I did. You can't do it? Okay, well that's good. From a balance perspective, it's good you can't get elite, but Tim didn't need it. He am the winner of this game, despite not having relics, despite being later to Castle Age, and despite not really doing all that much in Feudal. With the cheap Kreposts, the boom that Tim went for, and honestly, like, I don't want this one to be chalked up to a new Civ being strong. I don't want that. Yes, the Civ is strong, but it's only strong if you play it correctly. The guy expanded all over this map, and his raids in Castle Age is what won him the game. If he didn't use the mobility of his Konniks, and obviously if he didn't have a little bit of good fortune with the hole, I don't see him winning this game. I think that Bact gets to a big ball of Arbs and Monks, and there's no way for Tim to push. But Tim knew that. Tim knew that he had to avoid the center. He raided here, drew back to the back of his base, raided on the left, drew back to the left, then ran up the gut, and just kept running back around and around in circles with the Konniks. Beautiful, beautiful play. Now, I'm interested to see what the KD looks like. It's probably not all that impressive, right? I guess that you would get 2 deaths for 1 unit, if you think about it. Because you lose the mounted rider, or like, you lose the Konnik, and then once the Konnik dies, you have the dismounted Konnik to die as well. So I feel like the KD wouldn't be that good looking for Tim for that reason. But economically speaking, he had way more food, way more wood, way more stone, and way more gold. That's how you play Bulgarians, boys. T90, for just the purpose of raiding Art Knights, equally useful and easier to create from stables. I think equally useful, yes, but isn't the base attack... Hold on a second, let's investigate. Isn't the base attack of a Konnik higher? Because those Vils seem to melt. Let me look at the Konnik real quick. Base attack of a knight is 10. I think a Konnik is 12, right? Yeah, so you have 12 base attack, which means that you 2-shot Vils? With forging, you're 2-shotting Vils, I believe. So, for example, with knights, once you get 10 plus 2, that's when Vils start to melt a lot more in the raids. But it's expensive to get that extra plus 2, so I think Konniks are actually much better for Vil raiding. They're more expensive, right? Because it's 60 food and 70 gold. Whereas the knight is 75, 65? No, 60, 75. Okay. That's similar cost. The elite is, I think elite is 14. So you get 20 extra HP with elite, 14 base attack, you get extra armor, but I think we saw there that non-elite units were still pretty strong. And obviously you have the cool thing there that I didn't get to mention because it wasn't really that useful, was that when a Konnik dies, it becomes an infantry unit with a dismounted Konnik. And then your infantry upgrades and the upgrades he got for his 2-handed swordsman would apply to those guys. So, anyways, incredible stuff. Incredible stuff from Tim. Really impressive. And that's going to YouTube for sure. So YouTube, if you want to know how good the Bulgarians are and how to play them, let's rewatch that one. Tim's a beast. I do think Bact, had he walled properly, could have been a bit different. Would have made the game more interesting. But still, Tim, the way Tim played that was impressive. That is not by any means a throw from Bact's perspective. It was just excellent, excellent unit control and economy management. T90, what do you think about taking husbandry away from balancing them out? I'm not sure we need to like freak out and nerf Konniks. I don't think we need to freak out and nerf Bulgarians. Like, Bulgarians are going to be a solid, maybe top 15 civ, but I don't think they're a top, like, easy pick top 10 or something. They're fine. Like, well, I don't want to say they're fine, right? Because we don't know yet. But if you think about it, the civ doesn't have crossbow, man. Like, Bact's opportunity to punish was throughout all of Feudal Age, and he just went up to Castle Age faster and couldn't use his advantage. So I don't think that we should have this knee-jerk reaction to nerf every civ that wins. With Cumans, though, definitely.